Well, the experience I can bring to this role as a scientific advisor to CDKN is from my background working first with the Brazilian government on designing and implementing research, development, and demonstration projects in the field of energy. And eventually at the Federal University of Rio, we've been working a lot in this applied research field of energy, environment, and climate change, responding to the demands by the Brazilian government and also within the international research community. I've been working with the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, since the early 90s.
CDKN has been supporting climate-compatible development for almost 2 years now. How do you think the context has changed for climate-compatible development in that time?
Okay, the context for climate-compatible development has changed a lot in these last 2 years since CDKN started to work in this field. And we had a lot of excitement in the rush to Copenhagen, COP15, and there was amazing progress done in developing countries, particularly on voluntary goals for mitigation of greenhouse gas emissions. Now, the Copenhagen negotiations were not successful, as we know, and in these last 2 years we are moving very slowly in terms of progress in the international negotiation. However, we also have in a lot of countries, including developing countries, domestic efforts towards mitigating emissions and also implementing adaptation plans, and always with a strong development component, and that's exactly what CDKN is trying to foster.
How is CDKN contributing to delivery of climate-compatible development in countries now?
I think there are a lot of results from working with the governments, starting with the demands from the governments in selected countries in Latin America, Africa, and Asia. And also we have this research component, which is very important, which tries to reply to demand-led questions from this applied research field. That means what we can do for climate-compatible development. We got 2 global research calls, both highlighting as one of the themes climate-compatible development, and the first one got a second theme on agriculture smart agriculture, climate smart agriculture. And in the second global research call, we had disaster risk management as a second theme. And we got really exciting projects, I think, of very high quality. And building upon the global research calls, we also have the Innovation Fund, which is helping to scale up some good ideas, some good practice that have been done in developing countries. So we are now looking to go into the regions to have these regional research calls, and in order to address more specifically the demands of the regions.
Can you give us a few examples?
Yes. We can talk, for example, about the MAPS projects, mitigation, action plans, and scenarios that CDKN is helping to develop in some Latin American countries, Chile, Colombia, and Peru. Brazil is also part of this MAPS effort, and the idea is really to initiate a stakeholder dialogue within these countries in terms of mitigation scenarios and what mitigation policies can be implemented in these countries towards what is required by science to stabilize temperature in 2 degrees Celsius increase compared to the pre-industrial levels. I think it's a very good example of research target at actually demand-led goals from these countries. There is a lot of excitement. There has been in the past a lot of academic research exercises about scenarios, but it's a completely different thing when you have the possibility to build trust among all the stakeholders, and we have scenarios that actually include assumptions and give results that constitute really a consensual view from the stakeholders. This approach was first tested in South Africa with great success in the South African Rush of Copenhagen, and I think this is the sort of South-South exchange that is very important, and it's very relevant for CDKN to support.